Okay guys, let's do an urgent real-time Bitcoin and Ethereum and everything forecast. This is the stock market, and it's not really bullish. Everyone's saying, well, we've had the longest uptrend in so long, we're bullish, we're super happy. It's not. I'm not going to explain this to you because it would take too much time, but it's not bullish. In fact, we could be at top right now. We probably are. But here's the thing. Bitcoin and Ethereum has been pumping on ETF news even when the S&P 500 has been going down. So is that going to continue? Is Bitcoin and Ethereum going to keep going up? Because since we have a falling wedge here, shouldn't the target for Ethereum be up here? Or will we have another dip? We have one cup here, another cup here, and a third cup. Are we going to have a third cup before we go and skyrocket up here? Or are we just going to dip straight? Let's address that question right now. First of all, we are at hard resistance right now. We're at a double top. This is very hard resistance. But when we're bullish, if we're really bullish, we just cut through these things without much of a retrace after. After hitting a super strong line like this purple line, we might dip 2 or 3%, which is what we did. And then we keep going up. But will we? What we have to do is zoom into this formation to see if this formation is pointing downwards or pointing upwards. So let's zoom in here on Ethereum. And let's also, actually, well, this is the zoomed in version of Bitcoin. So let me show you this now. Bitcoin, if you look at this, it's like, oh, is this going to go up? Is this going to go down? It's hard to know for sure, but this resembles a well-known exhaustion pattern. You know what it's called? Let me show you what it's called. Yeah, you got it. It resembles, ta-da, this. It resembles this. It resembles this. Pointy top on the left and then the rounded top on the right. This is called an Adam and Eve bottom or Adam and Eve top. And you can just look this up for further reference, but it kind of resembles that. So what should happen is that it should go straight down. Except for the fact that there are indications that this thing is still bullish, and this is going to give you a head fake, where it looks like it's going to crash and it won't. But let me paint the bearish picture a little bit more so you have the full picture. Okay, let's zoom out on Bitcoin real quick. Zooming out, and this head becomes just really just tiny. Zoom out some more. Zoom out. And there's the whole structure. I normally never, ever buy this range where we have a blow-off top and then a retest. See that? This is a blow-off. This is a wick. It's a blow-off top and then a retest. I mean, nobody ever buys here. But it looks like we're going to pump right now. I'll explain that in a second, but let's give you the big picture as to why everything's kind of bearish right now. Did you notice this? Did you see this happening? What is this? This is a perfect rising wedge. Wow. You're not kidding. No, I'm not kidding. Let's strengthen the line so you can see it better on YouTube around the world. This is a rising wedge. Rising wedges normally dump really hard after they have a rejection on the top. And this one has a rejection on the top. A little scary. What that means is that it's exhausted and whales are dumping. So if this really was a rising wedge and it did dump, it would dump all the way down to about here. It would dump a lot. It would dump targets 78.6% right back down toward the base. And the base is, either you're counting from here or here, but local base would be about here. So I would say target's right about in here, which would give us a price tag of about 2.9 something. Because right now we're at 3.7. Wow. So we would lose a whole 20% on Bitcoin if we did retrace all the way back down. 20% loss on Bitcoin if we did retrace this low. But will we? Let's investigate this a little further. Okay, let's zoom back into this baby. and investigate this a little further. And to do that, I'm going to have to thinken this line as opposed to thicken this line. And let's zoom in again and see whether we're showing any hints or signs of bullishness. Doodaloo, doodaloo. Okay, so we're zooming in and let's enlarge. Interesting. Are you seeing what I'm seeing? I don't know if you've noticed these rules or not, but if you pay attention, there's definitely rules of engagement on this as far as harmonics goes. First, you have the big rejection. You see this big rejection here? Okay. Then you have a second rejection, and then you have a higher high that gets rejected, and then you have a lower high. Rejection, higher high, lower high. Rejection, higher high, double rejection, lower high. That pattern means we go down. That pattern, it's always that way. You don't have a top. Oh, hey, we have a top. I guess we're just going to go down. No, there's always a higher high to just last minute shake everybody out of their shorts, liquidate everybody before going down. So that's what we did here. And then here are people that, well, anyway, that's the pattern. And then we dipped on the south side of this rising wedge. So we're on the bottom side of this rising wedge, but why do I think we're going to go up right now? Here's the fascinating part. Let's zoom in even more. Normally what happens when you have a bearish pattern, is that the tops don't have any harmonics to it. The tops don't have any harmonics. The tops don't have any possible setup for a pump. If you look at the tops just get really, really ugly and messy, and there's nothing. It's like if you had 3 magnifying glasses, you could start a fire. You could start a forest fire with 1 magnifying glass, right? But imagine if that 1 magnifying glass wasn't really all that super pinpoint focused. It was a little bit off focused. Well, you'd need 2 or 3 different 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 magnifying glasses to have enough sunlight and heat to start a fire. It's the same thing with this. In order for this thing to be bullish, you need a couple harmonics that all lend itself to confluence. That's a hard way to... yeah, I'll explain theory to you later at some point. But anyway, this has it. This has upward facing magnifying glasses. Take a look at the tops here. Take a look at the tops. If I draw the tops here like this, and just for grins and giggles, let's make this really, really dark and strong like this. What we have right now, you take this, oh shit, let's draw another one, because I only have one hand right now that I'm doing all this with. Okay, here. Okay. Doo-doo-doo. Okay, good. I drew two because I wanted to demonstrate something to you. You see how, if I bring this down to this belly button here, nothing matches. Literally, we don't get a touch here. We don't get any touches there. It's just really ugly, right? But look, notice this. If I pull this down to right about here, oops, sorry. Was this not here? It was right. Where was this? Was it here? No. Hold on. All right, doing this while I'm filming is harder than I thought. I found it. Look. Look. Doodaloo, 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 doodaloo. Ding! What? Well, what is that? What am I looking at? If you're an advanced TA person, you know exactly what you're looking at. You've got a downward channel. And guess what downward channels are? They are bullish. Downward channels are the stuff that bull flags are made out of. Ta-da! And to confirm even farther, you've got a rejection down here. So rejections, these things, whenever you have a channel and you have a rejection, and then you have a confirmation of the channel by falling here, double touching here. So this confirms a perfect parallel channel. That means that 70 or 80% of the time you're going to touch the top line again. You never have a downward channel and then only touch the top line twice. Historically, just go back into Bitcoin and look for downward channels where, oh, look, we only touched the top twice. It never happens. It just rarely ever happens, especially when there is a rejection right down in here. So, so this tells me we go up. So what we have to do from here is now see, well, are the stars lining up on the micro? So if the stars are lining up on the weekly, the daily, the hourly, and the minutely, then, I mean, everything's lining up and pointing in the same direction. It's like if you ask where Sarah Jane's house is, and the farmer, the postman, the teacher, and the girl crossing the street all tell you it's right next to the big sycamore tree after the four-way stop on Main Street. When you turn left on the four-way stop, then it probably is right under that tree. And so let's look at the minutely now. Minutely, let's zoom in even farther to the minutely. Zoom in even farther to the minutely. And what do we have? This last leg down has, and this is going to be a little tricky because I'm still filming and trying to draw lines at the same time. Oh shit. Has a falling wedge. Ta-da! And not only do we have a falling wedge, I'm just going to draw it like this visually. We have a falling wedge with a double rejection at the bottom. Ta-da! Falling wedge with a double rejection at the bottom. And we're already starting to pump escape out north. So this should touch this red line again. It should go back up again. Where is that line? I don't know why the arrow tool is hidden behind the brush tool. So we should do this and then go escape velocity out. We should, here, let me move this down and show you. Here, you can screen capture this. We should do this from here. Ta-da! However, now let's also look at Ethereum. You see how much work there is in doing any amount of TA at all? Now let's look at Ethereum. Ethereum, like I said, is this is generally bearish. Nobody ever likes to long here. But once again, since we're not sure, let's go and investigate this area right in here, okay? Toodaloo. You know what's funny is I'm actually able to give you a precise TA analytical thing without... Oh shit, I hate this tool because every time I use this tool I have to do 2 or 3 other things. Also, don't try and, you can try and find me if you want via IP address. I use a VPN, so it doesn't matter. Okay. Actually, no, I don't use a VPN. That's exactly where I live. Okay. So as we zoom into this thing on Ethereum, what do you see? Well, Ethereum, interestingly enough, this looks like a double top. And in fact, nobody ever longs double tops. Just like the Bitcoin scenario that looks like a inverse head and shoulders. Or sorry, Adam and Eve. But, and if you look at this, do we have any bearish patterns in here on Ethereum? Nobody, this looks like a double top, but is it just the first 2 legs of a zigzaggy consolidation is the question we need to ask. What is this? Huh. Let's take a look. If I draw a line from here to here, what does that tell me? This tells me that it was a rising wedge at one point a long time ago, but now we're outside the domain of the wedge. By domain of the wedge, what I mean is you're looking for about this much space. If you're caught within this much space on top of the wedge, then you can still dump. But I mean, if you're way up here, this falling wedge doesn't have much power to pull you down, pull you back in. If you're caught within these two red lines, red in here, then yeah, this falling wedge. Well, how can you explain that more? Can you show me examples? No, it's just going to take too much time. So just take my word for it. Trust me. Anyway, so let's zoom into this and see if this apparent double top really is a double top, or whether there are bullish harmonics in here. So let's go into this, and just zoom in, zoom in, zoom in. And this is the fascinating part to me, is that I can do this particular YouTube video explaining TA without giving away any of our secret, famous, patented trade secret. Oh shit, fuck, hold on. Okay, just had to close a 700x long. 700x longs, I mean, just 0.1% mistake, and it's dead. But the good thing is, with 700% longs, you can double your money in like 3 seconds. It's awesome. It's absolutely awesome if you have a real-time connection. Okay, so what was I telling? Okay, so this looks like a bearish double top. But the funny thing about bearish double tops is that there's, and actually I do want to kind of give away one little secret here, because otherwise I can't explain why this is not a double top. No, I'm not going to. Anyway, this is not a double top. Double tops don't look like this. But it's got a top and then a lower high, and looks like it's got a, look, it's got a neckline. Right there, it's just going to cross the neckline and dump really hard, Uncle. You're just going to go really far down, and we're going to die. Unlikely. Because first of all, we don't have a neckline. I'm trying really hard to explain this without telling you one of my harmonic secrets. Which, I mean, if you watch all my videos, eventually one will leak out, and then you can put them all together. And then for good karma, you have to share any charts that you find with me. Otherwise, I mean, you're just stealing knowledge without paying back, which will give you Alzheimer's and dementia when you're older. It's true. It's really weird, but it's true. If you take knowledge and then you use it without paying someone back, then it rots your mind. It gets stolen from you. Anyway, I can explain how the mechanics works and all that, but it's like gravity. It exists, and everyone knows it exists, and everyone knows what it'll do, but it's kind of hard to explain. It takes a long time to explain something that simple as gravity. Anyway, so you think this is a double top. Maybe some people might even say it's a Head and Shoulders because we got a little blip here, and we got a big head and the red. No, because first of all, we don't even have a neckline. Look. I drew this so that we start here, okay? Because there's nothing else to start at. Even if I started here, there would be nothing else to link to. So let's just at least link this and this together. If we touch this together with this together, what happens? We don't ever touch anything else. We never completed a neckline. You see this? How there's a gap here? We never completed a neckline. It's not a neckline. There's no bearish neckline because there's no neckline. There's no neck. There's no anything. So there's nothing to cross. But even without this neckline, just looking at the structure alone, I can tell you that this isn't going to dump. It's just itching on the tip of my tongue. I want to tell you why, but anyway, if you keep looking at enough charts and measuring everything, you might be able to figure it out one day. Oh, so now, if it's not bearish, is there any indication that it's bullish? Oh, shit. Hang on. Okay, I saw another 1000x opportunity, but I'm not going to take it because it's got some risk factors attributed to it. Sure, I'll show you. If there are any bullish factors. And let's draw a line. Okay. So I drew a line. Oh, I see what's happening. Do you? We have a triangle. We had a topside rejection, a retest, and then another rejection, and then we had a double rejection, and then we tried to retest the bottom line, but we never touched. Remember, this is the neckline that we never touched. So what that means is we have bullish buying pressure. We have front-running buying pressure. Why would we have front-running buying pressure here? Why wouldn't they just let it dump so that they can buy it even cheaper? Well, maybe they tried. And if you've got enough really big whales trying to buy it cheaper, but the price just doesn't go lower, then it never hits the trend line. That makes sense, right? So let's see what else we can find with this. We drew this line. Let me draw another. Let me do this one. Where is this tool? This tool. This is a great tool. Shit, I can't find it. Here it is. Okay. So, voila. This is the channel tool. And you just kind of drag. You just kind of drag this thing. Drag this thing. Drag this thing. Drag this thing along the neckline and see what you find. And what's interesting is that when you look at this, hold on, let me try and get my head out of the way. Well, that's interesting, isn't it? Did you see what I just saw? Did you see what I just saw? Yeah, right there. What we have is another channel with really, really noisy, this is super, super noisy, of course. Rejection on top, 2 rejections on the bottom, rejection on top, so we're even. Huh? What even is that? Yeah, that's actually how that works. These MIT and Caltech PhD quant mathematics scientists, when they programmed their algo bots, what they do is they establish a trend, and then they confirm the trend once, twice, 3 times a lady, well, only twice a lady, but, and then they count whether we've been rejected once, twice, once, twice, once, twice, once, twice, evenly, and then they say, okay, so that's equilibrium. How can that be equilibrium when it's all, that's just, they've got billions of dollars. And if they say it's equilibrium and they're going to use those billions of dollars to buy, then it's going to go up, damn it. That's how that works. Well, how can they make sure that they have enough money to make it go up? It's their money that's making it go up. And they're just choosing when to use it. And right now, they choose to make it go up because of an equal amount of fake outs here, fake outs there, fake outs here, fake outs there, and we went down, and we're not touching the bottom again. That's the easiest way to explain this. And look even more closely. We have a neckline here too. You see that? See this neckline here? Let me draw it in for you. I'm going to draw this neckline in, and you're going to see... You see? Do you see what I'm pointing at? Yes. You got another rejection. Ta-da! Got another rejection. So we go up. Plus the fact that Ethereum has a bullish downward channel. Ta-da! So we go up. Except for the fact that now we could have a double rejection if we dump from here, but I don't think so because we've already got a bigger front-running thing here. Big front-running thing is more powerful than small potential double rejection thingy. But we could double bottom. We could, here, let me erase all this shit, and we could do this. We could go, ooh, poof, and then poof, and then we create a inverse head and shoulders right here, like this. And then we just go up. Whew, okay, so that was TA school without disclosing any of our internal secret algorithms. So but if anything changes, and everything always changes all the time. Oh, shit. You should join bitcoin-signals.org because that's the only place I give you real-time updates. I only do YouTube once every like couple days, and I give you real-time signals 24 hours a day, several times a day, like every couple hours. So do you want a big picture direction thing once every 3 days? Or do you want every couple hours, up, down, up, down, up, down? If you're a pro, then join us at bitcoin-signals.org. And there's a chance that we don't dip, so I'm gonna do a lower leverage long. Actually, that's too high leverage. Even that's too high. I'm gonna do a no stress ADX long. ADX is like literally I could take a nap after getting drunk, and then go on a mid-afternoon safari and come back and not get liquidated. So we're currently, as bearish as we look, we're bullish. Now, having said that, I will give you this caveat. Shit, I hate this tool. There's got to be a keyboard way to where I can get rid of this smudge tool. Anyway, okay, what could happen is that we could do this. Sorry, I didn't explain this part. Since we have that channel here, that channel thingy here, and then the front running here, we could bounce up, and then suddenly, after we hit this new neckline, we would end up with what you guys really love for some reason. We would have a cup and handle. You see this cup, and then you see this handle? We could have a cup and handle. We could go up and keep going up, or right about 1 fib zone higher, right about here, or 1.5 fib zone higher, we could just dump really hard. In which case, we would actually have a real potential double top. This particular drawing, this particular thingy, is a viable double top. This one isn't, but this one would be if we dumped. Or we could even only go up partially and get forced down from here or from here, and we could just dump like this. What are the odds of either? Unknown until we get there. Which is why, if you've got big money and you're a real-time trader, I do recommend bitcoin-signals.org, because there's too many unknowns, and I can only cover a few of them on YouTube. I cover all of the unknowns at bitcoin-signals.org. Let's make you rich, guys. Oh, share this video, will you? Just share it on Twitter and tag me when you do. That'll make me love you and follow you.